The story begins during a heavy snowstorm when a baby princess is born inside a carriage. Her parents lovingly name her Snow White and raise her to be gentle, kind, and a leader who cares for others. For a while, the royal family and their people live in joy. But tragedy strikes when the queen becomes sick and dies, leaving Snow White and her father devastated. Soon after, a beautiful noblewoman appears. With her charm and magic, she wins the king's heart and marries him. However, she is secretly a wicked sorceress. When news of a nearby kingdom's attack reaches them, the king rides off to battle with his soldiers, but he never returns. Now, the new queen rules alone, spreading fear, hunger, and cruelty. Snow White is forced to work as a servant in her own castle. Years later, while cleaning, she meets Jonathan, a thief who explains he steals to help starving people. Later, Snow White tries to plead with her stepmother to show kindness to the poor, but the queen coldly refuses, saying people don't need comfort or weak flowers, they need something strong and flawless, like a diamond. Her harsh words deeply wound Snow White. Jonathan is soon caught and nearly executed, but Snow White begs for mercy. Still, the queen insists he must be punished. Distraught, Snow White remembers happier times and sings of her wish to help her people and truly become herself, waiting on a wish. When she later sees Jonathan tied at the castle gate, she secretly frees him and gives him food. He urges her to leave with him to see the suffering outside, but she refuses. Unfortunately, the queen sees everything and grows furious. That night, she asks her magic mirror who is the fairest of them all. When it answers, Snow White, the queen explodes with jealousy. She orders the huntsman to take Snow White into the forest and kill her. But the huntsman cannot bring himself to harm the innocent princess. Instead, he tells her to run away. Terrified, Snow White flees into the woods, where frightening tree-like shadows surround her. Soon, friendly forest animals appear and guide her to a small cottage. Exhausted, she rests until the owners, the 7 dwarfs, arrive home. Most welcome her, though Grumpy resists. Back at the castle, the queen learns through the mirror that Snow White is still alive. The next morning, the dwarfs argue until Snow White helps them resolve things kindly. She teaches Dopey how to whistle, boosting his confidence, and inspires everyone to tidy up their home together. Whistle while you work. Later, while searching for her father, Snow White runs into Jonathan again. Soon, the queen's guards find them. A battle breaks out, and Jonathan is struck by an arrow while protecting Snow White. She brings him to the dwarfs, where Doc heals him. They all celebrate joyfully, the silly song. Snow White and Jonathan grow closer and fall in love. But danger returns. Guards capture Jonathan and throw him into prison. The queen, discovering where Snow White is, disguises herself as an old woman. She poisons an apple and heads to the dwarf's cottage. There, she tricks Snow White into taking a bite. As the poison works, the queen cruelly reveals she killed the king. Snow White collapses into a death-like sleep. The dwarfs grieve for her, while the queen rejoices when the mirror declares her fairest once again.
Like and subscribe for more happy endings.